And here we're standing at the corner of Myrtle, Wyckoff, Palmetto. And we're going to take a tour on Myrtle Avenue. We're going to go all the way down the Fresh Pond Road. And this is the L train down below and the M train above. They're doing some work here up on Palmetto. That's the new entrance for the M and the L line that was built a few years ago. Starting on Myrtle Avenue, we have the Duane Reade store, which when I was a kid, that used to be an Arthur Treacher's. And I think before then, I believe it was an ice cream parlor. This is another shot of the elevated line, and I believe there was a big billboard up there, which they recently took down. And you could hear the rumble of the train approaching, and there she is. That's the M train heading towards New York City. And here we have the old Madison Theater, which is now a Liberty department store. And the old Madison Theater, let's see if I can get tight, you can actually see. See, Madison still there. It was a beautiful movie theater when I was a kid. May have been designed by the same person that designed Radio City, so it should have been designated a landmark. This is the front entrance of the Madison Theater, now just a Liberty department store. We have a diner on this square, which has been named the Detective Anthony Vendetta Square. I think it's a police officer who was murdered. They made it a little sitting area. And now over there, just off Myrtle Avenue, that was an old Key Food that was been there for many, many years. That went out of business, and then it became for a very short while a Colombian-based, Ecuadorian-based Kentucky Fried Chicken of sorts. Didn't last at all. And on the next corner, you could see that liquor store. When I was a kid, that's on St. Nicholas, that used to be an Italian restaurant, but I'm really going back a long time ago. Across the street from this diner is Kid City, which used to be a big Woolworths when I was a kid. And now that was that fried chicken place I told you went out of business. Probably was there a couple months. Next to that, I'm just taking note Roman Pain, only because it has been there for so many years and it's still in business. Corner of Myrtle and Wyckoff, Royal Pizza, been there quite a while. And across the street, Nichols Furniture, which is Sign of the Times, out of business. That drug sign is Madison Drugs. And if I pull back, that store has been there for a long time. We're at Madison, obviously, and Wyckoff, or Myrtle Avenue, rather. And if I just pan to my left, we're coming up on the Ridgewood Theater, which unfortunately is no longer. And they tried to declare it a landmark. Some guy was trying to build it as an art house movie theater, but couldn't do it. So right now, it's just boarded up. This is looking in at the ticket booth at the Ridgewood Theater. They put up some old pictures. It's gone, boy. Seen better days. I believe I saw Batman here in person when I was a kid. It was a lot of fun. And this is the memorial to veterans. Right now at Putnam and Myrtle at the another square. Now, when I was a kid, this used to connect right to Cypress Avenue. From where the police van is to where I'm sitting, cars used to go here, but they closed it up, and now it's just a pedestrian area. Now we're at the corner of Cornelia, and they erected these little signs that just give you a little history of this area. Now across the street, that used to be, I believe, the Ridgewood Times building, and now they actually made it condos, loft condos. I don't know how they're selling. By the looks of the place, nothing much is going on, and then just to its left, the Fleur de Lis, a catering hall is still there. And then if I pan to my right, this used to be an old bank. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a Rite Aid drugstore, which is kind of weird when you go in because it still looks like a bank. And then we go across the street at Cypress and San Remo Pizza. That's been there for a while, quite a while. That used to be Zimmer's when I was a kid. It was a men's clothing store. And over here on my right, there was a rainbow shop. That used to be Martin Paint Store. Sterling Optical at the corner of Catalpa. Just off Catalpa is beautiful St. Matthias Church that has recently had a makeover. It's absolutely beautiful. And they're also renovating the downstairs church. So I think that's still in the works as I speak. At the corner of Seneca and Rudy's. Rudy's has been there ever since I can remember. The signs change, but it's the same great stuff over there. Next to Rudy's is a place called Ridgewood Eats. And if I remember correctly, I think that was the Bank Diner, but the Ridgewood Eats there has been there for several years. And then this is just a panning shot of the neighborhood. This 7-Eleven coming up here, I remember when I was a kid, that used to be a bank many, many years ago. And this is just the corner of Seneca. Disco 2000, needless to say, the place is out of business. Payless Shoes. And then it's Dwayne Reed Drugstore. When I was a kid, I remember that was Pathmark, and I think I bought my first transistor radio there. That is a New York & Company, which used to be Learners when I was a kid. Still selling low-end clothing. And across the street is Pants Pantry. Another clothing store, which when I was a kid, it was a few blocks behind us. And now it is a much bigger store. Okay, now we're at Weirfield. Some sneaker stores, Radio Shack. And coming up here, that's the Myrtle Avenue Restaurant Coffee Shop. That's been there, I believe, a really long time. Now we're at like Underdunk. And there's the a restaurant across the street. That's been there a really long time. There's a bank on this corner, TD Bank, that's relatively new. And on this corner was a closed down coffee shop. For some reason, whatever store comes to this corner, it just never makes it. Perfume, coffee shop, shoes, they go out very shortly. These are just some stores as we're heading towards Forest. And just across the street is a Telco, which used to be Fair. It was a very large home store, home items. They have moved to Atlas Mall, which I think is in foreclosure now out in Glendale. Next to that is a bank, probably had 3 changeovers since then. And then, you see on the corner there, Domino? That's still there. That was a men's clothing store, probably been there for 30 years. Okay, now we're at the corner of Forest and Myrtle. Old Richard Savings Bank. We just don't make them like this anymore. Nice bank. And we just passed Forest, and across the street is Mr. Chen and the Big Daddy. I believe Big Daddy's used to be an ice cream parlor when I was a kid by the name of Merkin's. Long gone, really nice place. And next to that is the Queen's Liquor Store. It's been there for a very long time. And now we're heading down, getting close to Fresh Pond Road. That shop, that Ridgewood Coin and Stamp, I think it's been there forever. And if you look at the, I'll get a little tighter, the phone number, you could tell it's been there forever. EV1. They don't have phone numbers like that anymore. To the right is, remember Flowerama? It was this huge store that had all your bridal needs. That's long gone, and now there is a green market down there. Fruit and vegetables. Joe and John's Pizzeria, that's been there a while. And just some more stores. It's a Mexican restaurant over there. Just some bakery. Office supplies. Ridgewood Chapel down there. That's probably been there for a long time. And then we're coming up on the supermarket. And at the corner of 60th, you have Ridgewood Carpets, which has been here a really long time. You can just tell by the sign. I believe it's not there anymore. Nothing has taken its place. This is it, Ridgewood Carpet. Art Cove. And that optical place, it used to be a candy store. I forgot the name of it, but they made their candy, Krause's Candy Kitchen, that was it. I think that may have moved to Metropolitan Avenue and Forest Hills. Post office at Decatur Street. And now we're at the end of Myrtle Avenue. We're at Myrtle Avenue and Fresh Pond Road. That's the train tracks overhead. And to my left there is the Polish Slavic Credit Union. And that pretty much concludes our tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I brought back some memories for people that no longer live in the area.